Hi, welcome to the MuleSoft tutorials. This is Akash, and in this video we'll discuss about the exception handlings. So we'll create a new project and we'll discuss more about the exception handling. As exception project. Yeah. So basically, what is exception handling? So whenever developer writes the code, there are some situation where the code can goes into the error conditions. To handle those error conditions, we need exception handling or an error handling. So in MuleSoft, MuleSoft already provide one default exception handling, which is implemented internally. So once you go to the here, you can write exception. So these are we have exception handlings. So to start with, I will drag one HTTP connector. I will configure that connector, and then I will put one variable and I will put another variable. So what we're trying to do, we're trying to generate an exception and we'll see how exception handling work. So in variable 1, I will put num1 and I will give the value as 10, and in variable 2, I will put num2 and I will give variable value as 0. So what we're trying to do over here is we'll use one transform message, and here what I will do is I will do division. So I will say value flowars dot num1 divide by flowars dot num2. I will save it. So as everyone knows, like if I will divide some positive number with some zero number, so that will be infinite. So that is one kind of exception we have, divide by zero exception, or you can say arithmetic exception in Java. So what I will do, I will just run this application, I will save it and I will run this application and we'll see what happens then. So as I said, there is one default exception strategy which is internally implemented by the MuleSoft only. So that exception strategy just tell us the what is the exception you got it. So still, so it's deployed successfully. I will hit 8081 and now I can see. So the variable name variable 1 was 10 and variable 2 was 0. So we can see value 1 divided by value 2. We are getting divided by 0. This is a kind of exception in MuleSoft. So what we'll do this time, I will stop the server now. I will try to handle this exception. So to handle any exception, we need to add exception strategy in this error handling block. So this error handling block contains the exception strategy which we want to follow. So I will drag one catch exception strategy, and here if I'm making as execute when as blank, then it would be like accept all types of exception. And here I will add one logger, and inside this I will say inside catch exception. I will save it. Now again I will deploy it and we'll see how things will work. So still going on. So this deployed successfully. I will hit from Postman. This time, as you can see, we got the exception, we logged the exception, and at last, this goes into inside the catch block. This logger printed. So in order to log the exception, just click on the catch exception strategy, and there is one log exception. If I unclick this, this will not log my exception. So for you, I will try to run this in debug mode and you can see how things are going internally. So this time I removed the log exception. So this will not log the what kind of exception that particular data transformation message raise. Say no, console. Okay, deploy successfully. I will hit again. Now we are in variable 1. I will click over here. You can see variable 1 is 10, variable 2 is 0. I will say F6. This extension goes to, we got an exception. You can see it is in red. I'll say F6. This will goes to the catch block. Inside catch block, we have logger and it logged the exception. So at the point of time that particular connector raise an exception, the flows goes to the error handling part. So in this way, we can handle our exception according to our need. And if we want to raise an exception, manually want to throw as an exception, you can use validation. I will click over here and I will delete this thing. So validation is a component which is used to raise an exception. So to configure this, I will click on add. I will say validation configuration. We can write our own exception class, but just click on over here and you can give the class name. Right now I will use the default one. Let's say okay, and here I need to give the condition. So let's say not null. Null is empty, is IP, is false, is empty, is email address. So these are we have by default validators, and we can write our own custom validator in Java. So let's say I will use this is not null, and in the value what is not null, let's say my payload hash payload is not null, and what message I want to give. Let's say I want to give in where invalidator inside invalidator or inside validator. I will save this, and now I will try to deploy this and see how things will go. As the payload is null, so this will throws an exception. If the condition is not satisfied, this will throws an exception. So condition is not null. I'm sending payload as null, so this should throws an exception. It's still deploying. Okay, it's deployed successfully. I will hit from postman. Okay, so we have variable 1 over here, and then pressing F6, we have variable 2 inside validator. You can see it's on red right now. Exception inside validator. Message thrown is inside validator. I'll press F6, and then if the payload is null, it goes to the catch exception block, and this will run basically my logger. So in this way, you can add or you can throw your own exception at any point of time according to your condition, or there are predefined exceptions like file not found, or you can say arithmetic exceptions. So input output exceptions. So these exceptions will be handled by the MuleSoft. So in next video, we'll discuss about the types of exceptions we have in MuleSoft. We'll go one by one and we'll see what functionality they provide. So that's it for this video. Thank you.